What new thing can I say about the Viltrox 15mm f1.7? Probably not much, it's all been said. It's much more affordable than its competitors and it's a good lens. But I'd add that, whilst it's good for photos, possibly not quite so good for video. If you film with this lens and you don't have an external microphone, you'll get focusing noise. The other thing is, it doesn't have stabilization, so unless you've got that in the camera, it'll be too shaky for video. The reason I got this 15mm lens stems from this photograph, European beauty spot. I was so proud of this picture I sent it into a website, but it was rejected. They said the resolution wasn't good enough. I looked at it carefully and realized they were right. Look down here at the corners. The resolution completely falls apart because I took this photograph with the Sony kit lens. That was when I realized that I would need a decent wide-angle lens. However, I never considered getting the Sony 15mm f1.4 or whatever it is. It's far too expensive. And I never considered getting the Sigma 16mm because it was far too big. It's a huge thing. You could use it in a studio, sure. You could take it along for a shoot, something where you sort of had to unpack your equipment or have a big bag. But that's no good to people like me who just want a convenient camera to take along. And the Viltrox 15mm just squeezes into that category. So let's go out and about with the Viltrox 15mm f1.7. Here's the green. Americans, I think, would call it a park. But is it also the location of a Hollywood movie? Look, there's a beautiful Hollywood actress going to meet the football coach. There's a path, and here's what the path looks like today on this dingy winter's day. There's the square house, and here's the square house. There in the top left hand of the frame is a white bay window. And here is the white bay window in real life. There's a bench. And here's a bench, but in a different position, so I suppose it must have been a prop. There's a red post box, but there actually isn't a red post box, so I suppose that must have been a prop too. There's the knobbly railings. Here are the knobbly railings. It was deep twilight, but the camera adjusts, so it looks as if it's daylight, but it wasn't. It was a dingy northern winter day, and really quite dark. Trying out a low-light lens outdoors is a bit difficult because the camera just adjusts and it looks like it's daylight even if I say it's deep twilight. So maybe a better place to do it is in a dingy dive like this where it's a pub, it's very low light and you can see how different lenses perform. So this is the Viltrox 15mm f1.7 and this is the Sony kit lens, which is f3.5, both at about 15-16mm.
I stand still from my window, gazing soft at these streets, wanting to dance with every Floyd, to share our spins, our moments lost in mirables.
So finally the selfie test, to see how much field of view there is from the Viltrox 15mm f1.7 at arm's length. Now I did mention earlier that I was using this on the A5100, and the problem with the Viltrox is there's no stabilization in it, and the A5100 doesn't have any either. So today I've got it on the A6500, which has in-body image stabilization. It's a substantial camera. I wouldn't want to be sitting here for too long holding this camera at arm's length. Maybe the A6100 is lighter, but for me this is yet another reason why Sony ought to update the A5100, a much smaller, lighter, interchangeable lens camera with a flip-up screen. Will I go back to the same place and take the same photograph with the Viltrox? Well, I'm saving up for it.